Have you ever had someone look you dead in the eye and pretend like you didn't even exist? Like you were just some random extra in the background of your own life? That's exactly what happened to me when my ex-manager decided to take a jab at me in front of my own spouse. But here's the thing, months later, when fate handed me the perfect opportunity, I gave her a taste of her own medicine. And trust me, the look on her face was worth every second of the wait. If you've ever dreamed of serving justice to someone who thought they were untouchable, hit that like button, subscribe, and stick around because this is one of the most satisfying revenge stories you'll hear today. So let me set the stage. I work in the service industry. Now, if you've ever worked in restaurants or bars, you already know it's not glamorous. It's long hours, aching feet, entitled customers, and a constant balancing act of keeping everyone happy while quietly losing your sanity. But for me, there was always one thing that made it worse. Her. Let's call her Stephanie. Now technically, Stephanie was supposed to be my manager. In reality, she was barely even that, more like a glorified assistant supervisor who lucked into the position because her best friend was the real boss. She didn't earn it. She didn't work for it. She just existed in it. And boy, did she milk that position. Imagine walking into work, already exhausted, and the first thing you see is your manager, who's supposed to be setting the tone for the shift, twerking in the dining room, while blasting music at full volume, not because it was part of some fun event, not because it boosted morale, but because she wanted attention. She wasn't leading. She wasn't helping. She was drunk. Always. She drank on the job, like it was part of her job description. And the worst part, she thought it was funny, like she was the star of some reality show, and the rest of us were her unpaid background extras. She was the type of person you meet once and instantly think, oh, you've never had to work for anything in your life. A full-blown trust fund kid, designer clothes, daddy's money, and a permanent VIP pass to self-destruction. Her hobbies, getting wasted at every bar in town, tossing herself at any guy who'd give her half a glance, and acting like she was above everyone else. So yeah, you could say she rubbed me the wrong way. Now, let me fast forward a little. Stephanie eventually got fired, not because karma suddenly found her. No, she literally drank herself out of the job. Management had no choice but to cut her loose. And honestly, nobody missed her. We all just sighed in relief. But here's where things get personal. See, my spouse also works at the same place. He's a bartender. He's good at what he does, professional, respected, and everyone likes him, which made what Stephanie did next feel even more insulting. One night, after she'd already been fired, she comes waltzing into the bar where my husband works. She sits down, orders a drink, and starts chatting him up. And then she drops this little bomb. So, are you still with that girl you were dating? That girl. Not my name. Not me, just. I'm that girl. And here's the kicker. She knew my name. She'd worked with me for over a year. We'd shared shifts, shared conversations, even shared frustrations. She spent more time with me than she ever did with my husband. But suddenly, in that moment, I was downgraded to some faceless, nameless nobody. When he told me about it later, I felt this hot sting in my chest. You know the kind of anger that simmers, that coils around your ribs and sits heavy in your throat. Because this wasn't just forgetfulness. This wasn't an accident. This was deliberate. It was a jab. Her way of saying, you're irrelevant. You don't matter. And that stuck with me. Because every time I ran into her after that, she'd flip the switch back to fake sweet mode. You know the type of, oh hi, my name. All sugary and high-pitched. Like she'd just seen her best friend walk into the room. But I knew what was behind it. That fake mask. That snide little voice underneath it that already told me exactly how she saw me. So I waited. And finally tonight, I got my chance. I was out. minding my own business, when I saw her. It was the first time we'd crossed paths since the whole that girl incident. And true to form, she pounced the second she spotted me. "Oh hi, my name," she squealed. That same fake smile, that same saccharine tone, like nothing had ever happened. Like we were just old friends bumping into each other. But this time, I was ready. I turned to her, smiled politely, and said, "Oh hey, how's it going? I'm sorry, but it seems I've forgotten your name. What was it again?" And the silence that followed, chef's kiss, her face froze. Her eyes went wide for just a second, like she'd just been slapped. Then came the forced laugh, the awkward stammer, the way her cheeks flushed just enough to betray her. Because in that moment, she knew I hadn't forgotten her name. I was erasing her, just like she had tried to erase me. And God, it felt good. All those months of carrying around her little jab, all those fake greetings I'd endured, it all melted away the second I saw the look on her face. That priceless, perfect mix of shock, humiliation, and bruised ego. Because for someone like Stephanie, the worst thing you can do isn't yell at her. It isn't fight her. It isn't even ignore her. It's making her realize she doesn't matter. Not to me. Not anymore. That's the beauty of it. I didn't need a grand scheme. I didn't need months of plotting or elaborate tricks. All I needed was one line, one simple question. What was your name again? And in that single moment, I had all the power back. Watching her squirm, that was my justice, my closure, my revenge. Sometimes the sweetest revenge isn't loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's just showing someone that the power they once held over you is gone. And in that silence, in that little crack in their ego, you find peace. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying little act of revenge you've ever witnessed? And of course, don't forget to subscribe, because I've got plenty more stories where this came from.